is I, John O'Regan, the uncommon voice for the common man, coming to you today live from Shadyside, Ohio, where today is St. Patrick's Day. Now, I know that on this momentous day that President Obama has spent a great deal of time and effort trying to figure out his Ncaa brackets. And a lot of people are giving this guy grief and stress over these brackets. Now, I, for one, understand that this guy has to have a little bit of time for recreation. Spending all this money is bound to wear you out. And even now, at the White House on this day, St. Patrick's Day, and you will notice a Packer fan never lacks for green, he's having a nice little St. Patrick's Day party at the White House. And I'm sure he's had to fly in his Chicago chefs to make him authentic corned beef and cabbage right there at the White House, as if he doesn't know how to cook it. By God, I know how to cook it. And that's what I'm having for dinner tonight. But then again, I'm not the President of the United States. But what I want to do today is try and explain to you why President Obama picked the teams in his Ncaa brackets that he did. That's right. Now, I'm going to go to the sectional finals, or the regional finals, if you will. Now you have Ohio State against the University of North Carolina. Now, we all know that North Carolina has that damn little problem with their lacrosse team. And we don't want them to advance any further after all. I mean, what would Reverend Jesse and Reverend Al have to say if they made it into the Final Four? Then you have them playing Ohio State. And of course, now that we have our governor, my governor, John Kasich, actually trying to clean up the mess that is the public service unions, we need to do something to calm those people down. So the best thing to do is to project them into the Final Four. After all, you got to take care of those people in Columbus, Cleveland, and Cincinnati against the Duke lacrosse team, and therefore Ohio State is swept in to the Final Four. Now, in the other bracket, we have Duke against UConn, and this is the one that puzzles me. You have UConn, which is basically an Eastern school that doesn't have one Caucasian player on their roster that I see, against Duke. And Duke, of course, is the aforementioned big lacrosse team. Why in God's name are you going to try and offend Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton with that damn frivolous lawsuit against the Duke lacrosse players? Therefore, we make amends and send Duke on. We plan to offend nobody. Then we get into the other region, and we get into Kansas, which really perplexes me too, because Kansas really, it's one of them damn red states. Why in God's name would you put Kansas in the Final Four? But His Mightiness Obama does, and it gets worse than that. Then you have Kansas facing Pittsburgh, and of course Pittsburgh is what? A big union town. A big union town. And that his ambassador to Ireland on St. Patrick's Day is who? Well, that would be one of the Rooneys. And considering that the Rooneys got their asses beat in the Super Bowl, we have to make amends to them and the union thugs in Pittsburgh, considering all the things that's going on with the public service unions. So we'll just move them on to the Final Four in that region. Then he gets down to the final, the championship game, and he's got this perplexing problem on his hands because he got Ohio State against Kansas. So what is he going to do? He's got a red state against a purple state. And we all know with Ohio State, who knew? Was it Jim Tressel Is it Obama? Nobody knows. Who knows anything? But some reason Ohio State, the #1 seed, is against Kansas, which I would assume would be the #2 or 3 seed. But this is what doesn't make sense. He has Kansas winning the whole damn thing. And it doesn't make any sense. He could have Ohio State win it and get all those electoral votes. And he chooses Kansas. It's just unbelievable that this guy would make such a big mistake like this. But then again, you're talking about a guy that we see the nuclear meltdown in Japan, and he has done absolutely nothing to prepare us for it. Absolutely nothing. You would think that this guy would have everything ready that needed to be ready, like medical facilities, iodine tablets, masks, and all that stuff out on the West Coast. But this guy hasn't done anything. In fact, he's going to fly in his plane on Air Force One down to Rio de Janeiro to have a little vacation. I guess after filling out all this NCAA bracket, the man is exhausted. But here's a little tip for you. Don't bet on anything that this man might bet on, because your life might depend on it. Until next time, this is your favorite Islama homophobia Ronald Reagan saying this to you now. When travesties like this break out, my tirades break in. Until next time, over and out.